Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
All right. Prior to your post, you did mention something about how respecting the brand starts with artists knowing their value. Um,
Right.
do you think this is practical, especially in Zambia? Do you think most Zambians are choosing money over their brand?
Well, I strongly feel so. Firstly, I think this goes to. I've always said this. People only give you uh, the value or respect uh, that you put on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So it's something that artists need. It's not just artists, influencers and all that needs to really start embracing. I'll give an example. If someone comes to me and say, I've done this a lot of times. You come to me and you tell me, I want you to do this on your page. I usually refuse. A lot of these betting companies that come to me, I refuse because it's a value that I've put on my brand. So it starts with you as an artist. As an artist, as a brand, as an influencer, you put a non-nonsense, acceptance to anything that comes your way. So I strongly feel if Zambian artists, whether you're TV, radio, or just normal influencers, start putting value on their brand and respect on their brand, I think even promoters and whoever is hiring you will start really giving you respect. I always tell people, for example, my artists, that look, if you're going for a meeting and you're going in an alien, expect where you're going to treat you like an alien. If you're going in a Rolls Royce or Bugatti, they will definitely, once you just reach there, they will know that this guy, we can't give him a business for 5 pin or 2 pin. So it starts from there.
That's pretty interesting. I like the fact that you mentioned that this will also double down to the promoters as well. But we've seen some artists have put value on their brand and they say no to certain shows, and I'm like, no, I will not perform because of this and that. But we end up seeing other artists going ahead and performing despite the challenges first. So do you think Zambian artists are not working as a collective in particular to set standards, especially for shows? Because this is not the first time we've heard a number of artists complain after a show of how they were not treated well. So do you think it's a lack of them working as a collective to set standards for shows?
Totally. There's no unit at all. I don't know what Zam does, but I think that should have been their job, is to unite artists. I've said it a million times that the problem in Zambian music industry or entertainment is lack of unity. There's camps. People want to feel, affiliated to certain camp, and so by trying to bring them together, it's usually hard because, like you're saying, if Yomax today refuses to go for gigs, they'll call Chandarake, or they'll call Shefi, or so there's always that option. And I think they're coming in. It's unfortunate that there's been a lot of politically affiliated labels and whatnot, but I think the coming in of labels was really a good idea because it sets standards. Once you go to a label and you say, I want this artist, they tell you 50, and you can't pay, you go to the other artist, you still sign under the same label, so the same value applies. But with having a monotonous industry where people are just working independent and there's no lack of unity, we cannot achieve what we want to achieve as an industry, and we cannot have people respecting the art. It's not possible.
Interesting. Also, then let's bring it back to the promoters. Do you think promoters would see an all Zambian artist show or headlined Zambian artist show lucrative when it comes to business?
Come again?
Do you think show promoters, would they find an all Zambian artist show lucrative for them as a business?
I'll tell you one thing though. I've done international events from 2016 actually. From Kaystar, Techno, the Pizza guys, from everybody. I have made losses on all those events. And I did the experience with Chandana K. It became the biggest event ever done in the history of Zambian music at Woodland Stadium. and I made more money at that event than I've ever done all those international events. And this is why from 2019, in 2019, that was the last time when we brought Master KG from South Africa. It's the last time we did an international event. Since then, we've always been doing local events because we want to put our local brand higher than the international artists. Actually, the last event we did was Sheffy. The experience with Sheffy, and we had P Square, Mr. P from P Square and Scales as openers to Sheffy. Sheffy was the headliner. Why did we do that? We were trying to make a point that let's respect our own. And we told Mr. P, we told Scales, you are coming to open for Sheffy. Sheffy is the headliner. We wanted to put value to our brand. That's what top promoters need to start doing.
But also, what more can artists and promoters do in general to just work together to ensure that we are putting the Zambian art out there?
Well, promoters don't. They usually feel like when they bring a